What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back in to Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arch. We do have some things to cover. Like I said last episode, we do have the NBA schedule that officially dropped, so I do want to cover some things based off the schedule. Basically, that's all. As you guys know, I'm in Europe, so the connection and the video might not be as good as it usually is. So the first thing I want to get into is the nationally televised games. Denver is... They're not number one. They're not number two. They're not number three. They're number 6 with national televised games, which isn't bad. You're in the top tier of televised games, meaning that you're obviously a top tier team in the NBA, or the NBA thinks so. They have 26 nationally televised games, which isn't terrible when it comes down to the 82 games. Obviously, majority of teams don't have many televised games or as many as the Nuggets. But like I said, that is the 6th ranked in the entire NBA. Now, maybe this is a hot take because a biased take, I guess, rather, because I am a Nuggets fan. But there is absolutely no way that the Golden State Warriors should have the same amount or more nationally televised games than the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, I get the Thunder, but I'm blown away at the fact that the Golden State Warriors have more televised games than the Denver Nuggets. I just don't think that it should be that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it should be that way, obviously. I don't think the Warriors are that good of a team. They'll probably be a playoff team, which I understand. But I don't think that they're a better team than the Nuggets. You have the best player in the entire world on your team. The best player in the entire world. And you have less televised game for him than you do Steph Curry. Now, the Thunder at number 1 with 34. The Warriors, Thunder, Lakers, Knicks all have 34. The Timberwolves and Rockets have 28, and the Nuggets have 26. So technically, they're the 7th team because of multiple teams having the same amount. Now, Rockets, I understand. Timberwolves, I could sort of get after just because of how good Ant is. The Knicks, I understand, are going to be a good team. They're probably going to be the best team in the East, and that's why they're the only team in the Eastern Conference that's actually up there. The Lakers with Luka, obviously, and Bron. The Thunder are the reigning champs. And the Golden State Warriors with Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry are getting more nationally televised games than the Denver Nuggets, who have the best player in the entire world on their team and only got better. The team that was able to take just about any team in the entire NBA to 7 games, if they were healthy, won another finals, and you're not giving them a top 5 most national televised games, I just don't understand. And then, people try to figure out why the NBA is struggling for views, and that to me is a majority of the reason why. You have one of the best players in the world, and you're not nationally televising his games. You're nationally televising Steph's more, which might mean that Steph's career is coming to an end, and we all know that. But to give him more nationally televised games than Jokic blows my mind. Talking about the Warriors, we have the top 10 games that officially got announced, and I'm going to break down what I think Denver's record should be in the first 10 right after, obviously, whenever the schedule officially coming out. So the first game is actually Warriors at Warriors, which I think is a great opportunity for Denver to sort of set a tone, and I think that they should be able to beat them realistically. I think they're a better team, and I think that depending on chemistry and everything, the Nuggets take it. So I think they start 1-0. Now, Suns at Denver, I think that Denver should obviously be able to win that again as well. They do have a little bit of depth at the center position, and so do the Suns now. We get to see a little bit of the Malawach, Jokic duel, which should be a good duel, but I think that Denver is better overall and should be able to take that win. So I think they should start 2-0. Then you go into game 3 of the NBA season, and I think that they actually lose it. It's the Timberwolves. Now, I don't know what it is about the Timberwolves. Like I said, I know Ant is amazing, but I just don't know why Denver can't get by them. They're the one team that I watch, and I'm just, on paper, I think that Denver's so much better. Maybe with the depth this year, Denver is able to get by them, but I do say that will be the first loss this season if there isn't any beforehand, or should be the first loss if there was going to be one within the first 10. Now, I think that they'd probably be 2-1 if I had to guess. You go into the Pelicans, obviously should be a win. You're at 3-1. The Blazers also should be a win, but I want to see the Yang versus Jokic matchup. I think that's going to be cool if he is on the roster and not in the G League at that time. So I think they start 4-1. The Kings, I think another win, 5-1. You obviously have an Eastern Conference team thrown in there with the Heat, another win. Then you have the Warriors again. I think that realistically Denver's a better team, and like I said, it's a time to set the tone again. But I do think it's a win. I think that it could be a loss, but I do think that Denver's better, and depends on the momentum that either team has going into that game. Then you have the Pacers without Halliburton, should be a win. Then you have the Kings at Kings, and I think they should win that. Let's see if the Kings make any moves. Let's see if they add Kuminga. I still think that Denver is a better team. But overall, with the first 10, I do think that Denver should realistically start out 9-1 or 8-2 and be a top team in the NBA. I think that they're just that good realistically. Again, God willing, bearing any injuries, I think that Denver's still up there with the top teams in the NBA, and I think that they're one of the best teams in the NBA. So I think they start out either 9-1 or 8-2. Now, continuing on with the schedule, we obviously have back-to-backs to talk about. Now, Denver is tied with the Sixers, Charlotte, Phoenix, and Washington with 16 back-to-backs this season, which blows my mind because listen to those teams again. You have the 76ers, you have Charlotte, you have Phoenix, and you have Washington. What other contender is there? None. Denver's the only contending team with 16 back-to-back games. You look at who's under them. The Clippers are at 15, Toronto's at 15, Golden State's at 15, Pelicans, Miami, Utah, Portland, all with 15. There are 3 legitimate contenders in that conversation that have 15-plus back-to-back games, and of course Denver has to be one of them. I think that Denver constantly gets messed up with scheduling. I don't know why. I feel like this past year there were some, not scheduling issues, but Denver had a tough schedule, and it continues to be that way. And I think that the one thing I'm not upset about is the fact that Denver actually has the depth to go into those back-to-backs and be okay. If a guy like Jokic needs to sit out, you can still legitimately play and contend. So I'm going to get into right here my last topic, which is my overall thoughts. And I think that Denver has a tough schedule no matter what happens because they are in the harder conference, which is the Western Conference. And the teams are just better, way better at that. And realistically, if you're in the Western Conference, if you go on a 4 to 7 game losing streak, you might be out of playoff contention, which is crazy to say. And with Denver's 16 back-to-backs, I think that, it might take a toll on the players. Guys like Jamal, who have been relatively healthy recently, guys like Cam, who have been relatively healthy recently, may go down a path. And like I said, at least there's depth there for other guys to step up. If Cam needs to sit for a game, you can start Tim Hardaway Jr. or Brown at the 2 and 3. If Jokic needs to sit, you have Val. If Val needs to sit, you have Deron Holmes to step up in that backup role so that Jokic can actually get a break. So I do think that there are the positives that go along with the negatives. I do think it's crazy that Denver doesn't have a top 5 or are in a top 5 team when it comes to nationally televised games, especially under the Warriors. But overall, I do have high hopes for this Denver team, obviously, because I think that they're going to be amazing. I think that, Jokic is only getting better as he ages. And I think that this team is one of the best teams that we've seen, especially in the last 5 to 10 years. So that's all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. I'm going to try to keep getting you guys episodes out. So hopefully I have another episode out for you guys tomorrow. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I will catch you guys hopefully tomorrow.